Welcome back to another deep dive here on The Explainer. Today, we're looking at something that has left sports fans, commentators, and honestly, even scientists completely speechless for years. We're talking about the awe-inspiring visual of Cristiano Ronaldo rising up in the penalty box. You know exactly the image I'm talking about, right? Those impossible headers where he literally appears to just pause and float in the air, while gravity seemingly forgets he even exists. I mean, take his famous 2019 header against Sampdoria, where he reached an incredible 8.4 feet in the air. It's an absolutely breathtaking spectacle. But what is really going on here?
When we see a human being achieve that kind of crazy hang time, our first instinct is usually just to chalk it up to a lucky roll of the genetic dice. We think, well, he was just born to fly. But is his incredible jumping ability merely natural talent, or is it actually the result of years of rigorous, calculated scientific training? That's the exact mystery we're unpacking in this explainer today, and the answer is absolutely going to change how you watch him play. All right, let's get right into Section 1, the secret to the leap, explosive power. Okay, let's dive into this foundational concept. To figure out how he defies gravity, we really have to understand the core mechanism of the jump itself. Now, it's super easy to assume that jumping to these remarkable heights just requires having incredibly strong leg muscles. But brute strength? That's only a fraction of the story. If you just have strong legs, you can lift heavy weights, sure, but you won't necessarily fly. The real secret behind Ronaldo's vertical leap is explosive power. The definition here is critical. It's the ability to produce maximum force in a very short amount of time. It's not just about the total amount of force your muscles can generate, it's about how rapidly they can unleash it. Ronaldo hasn't just been working out in a standard gym. He's been specifically training this exact physical trait for decades through sprint training, intense plyometric exercises, and highly targeted strength workouts. All of it is designed to maximize that split-second explosion.
Moving on to Section 2, the physics of explosive power, the anatomy of a jump. So let's do a step-by-step breakdown of the scientific sequence of events that happen almost instantly the moment Ronaldo decides to take off. When you watch it in real time, it's just a blur of motion. But when we slow it down, it is pure physics in action. Here's the exact sequence taking place on the pitch. Step 1, he accelerates toward the ball. He absolutely needs that horizontal speed so he can convert it into vertical lift. Step 2, his arms swing upward. Now, this isn't just for balance, it's a physical lever. That upward arm swing actually generates vital momentum, pulling his center of mass higher. And finally, step 3, his leg muscles rapidly produce force against the ground. This entire run-up and takeoff is a meticulously choreographed sequence where flawless technique pairs with sheer speed to set the perfect stage for liftoff.
And this brilliantly illustrates the physics at play, perfectly captured by Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. When Ronaldo's leg muscles rapidly slam that force down into the turf actually pushes back. By pushing harder against the ground, he produces a massively stronger upward reaction force. This ground reaction physics is the exact engine that helps him leave the ground with that jaw-dropping speed and massive height. It's this wild combination of speed, timing, technique, and raw power that literally shoots him into the air.
Which brings us to Section 3. Building the vertical jump, the fuel. But listen, you don't just wake up one day able to weaponize Newton's third law like that. No way. To improve a vertical jump to world-class levels, athletes like Ronaldo have to incorporate a sheer, punishing volume of exercises to build such immense explosive power. We're talking about heavy squats and lunges to build that foundational leg strength. Then you have box jumps and depth jumps. These are the key plyometrics here. These are the specific moves that train the nervous system to fire those muscles instantly for that explosive movement. Add in sprint intervals, core strengthening, and balance exercises, and you've got a complete system. Every single piece is designed to develop the strength, the coordination, and that rapid-fire explosiveness. But here is the catch. You can't just jump into this routine at maximum intensity on day one. There is a golden equation for longevity in sports, and it's this. Gradual increase plus proper technique equals reduced injury risk. This is of vital importance. When you're dealing with explosive power, the physical strain on the knees, the ankles, and the tendons is immense. Maintaining this kind of peak performance over a career spanning decades means training incredibly smartly. You have to safely progress the workload and maintain perfect form at all times, or honestly, your career will just be cut short by injury. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, well, it brings us to Section 4, football IQ in the air, mind over matter. Because jumping high is actually only half the battle.
We've spent all this time talking about muscles, physics, and gravity, but physical jumping ability, no matter how scientifically perfected, isn't actually enough on its own. Let's compare the two sides of the coin here. On one hand, we have the raw athleticism we just covered, speed, power, and technique. That gets your head 10 feet in the air. But on the other hand, we have football intelligence, reading the game, anticipation, and timing. Think about it. If you jump incredibly high, but you jump a split second too early or a foot too far to the left, you're going to completely miss the ball. The physical prep gets you up into the sky, but the mental acumen is what's required to actually connect with the ball effectively and score the goal.
So here is the exact tactical sequence he executes mentally before his feet ever leave the grass. Ronaldo's headers are as much about strategy as they are about vertical leap. First, he studies the defenders, constantly finding the blind spots and weaknesses in their positioning. Second, he times his runs perfectly, so he meets the cross exactly at its absolute apex. Third, he positions his body well in midair, allowing him to generate power right through his core to redirect the ball. And finally, he practices the sequence repeatedly. This is where meticulous mental preparation perfectly meets physical execution.
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 5, the final verdict, the formula for magic.
We're bringing it all together now. We've looked at the explosive training, the ground reaction physics, and that intense mental chess match going on inside the penalty box. So the crucial point is, when you combine all of this, the formula looks exactly like this. Disciplined training plus smart technique plus consistent practice equals flight. Cristiano Ronaldo's incredible leap isn't some magic trick, and it definitely isn't just good genetics. It is a highly practiced, meticulously crafted formula. It's the ultimate result of years of unwavering discipline, understanding the science of the human body, and applying incredible football intelligence. Which brings us to our final question for you today. Which Cristiano Ronaldo header is your absolute favorite? Let us know down in the comments. I'd really love to read through your picks. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive football science explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and keep learning.